Welcome to IE News Week in Review, and welcome to our viewers logged on to our website www.ietvtt.com. I am Micah Dume. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at the top stories that made news headlines on Monday, April 13th. The United National Congress has welcomed what it describes as significant improvements within the North Central Regional Health Authority, citing reforms aimed at strengthening healthcare delivery. Here's more.
In a statement issued on Sunday, April 12th, the party praised Chairman Tim Gopi Singh and his board for driving changes outlined in a detailed report submitted to the Prime Minister covering the first 8 months of the board's tenure. According to the report, the NCRHA initially faced serious financial and administrative challenges, including a debt burden exceeding $350 million, irregular expenditure, and procurement practices that bypassed established systems. It noted that corrective measures were introduced to improve financial discipline and oversight, resulting in more than $150 million being identified, prevented, or recovered from improper payments and mismanagement. The authority also reported major reductions in operational spending, including cuts to security, janitorial services, and vehicle rentals, alongside streamlined contractor arrangements and the launch of a forensic audit into past transactions. In terms of debt management, outstanding payments to suppliers have been reduced to under $150 million, with over $150 million paid out to stabilize relationships and maintain essential services. The report further highlighted management restructuring, including the reversal of several acting appointments and efforts to strengthen leadership through new hires and ongoing recruitment of nurses and doctors. On the clinical side, improvements in patient care were noted, including reduced waiting times, expanded diagnostic services, and increased surgical output, supported by expanded operating theatre capacity and the introduction of specialized services. Infrastructure upgrades, extending operating hours of healthcare, and renewed focus on staff training and industrial relations were also cited as part of broader efforts to enhance service delivery. Chairman Gopi Singh said that while progress has been made in restoring stability and accountability within the NCRHA, further work is needed to sustain these improvements and ensure consistent, high-quality healthcare for the population.
Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar is intensifying calls for transparency from the CARICOM Secretariat over the reappointment of Secretary General Carla Barnett. Here's more.
In a statement on Sunday, the Prime Minister called for the release of key documents related to the February Heads of Government retreat, including meeting minutes, performance appraisals, and records from both the 2021 2026 appointment processes. She also referenced correspondence sent by Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Sean Sobers on April 9th, seeking clarification on the process. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar raised concerns over what she described as a lack of transparency pointing to CARICOM records, which she says shows no communication to Trinidad and Tobago on the reappointment agenda during the period leading up to the retreat. She further highlighted a WhatsApp message sent on the morning of the retreat indicating that the meeting was restricted to heads of government only, a move she says contradicts claims that Minister Sobers was invited. The Prime Minister is now questioning why her ministry was not present and whether the process was deliberately structured to facilitate the reappointment. She maintains that the issue has serious implications for Trinidad and Tobago and is calling for full disclosure, urging CARICOM officials to provide time-stamped documents as her scrutiny over the decision-making process continues.
The Ministry of Education, Trinidad and Tobago, is reporting a successful start to Term 3 of the 2025-2026 academic year, with schools across the country reopening on schedule and classes resuming without major disruption. Here's more.
The ministry says the Easter vacation period was used to carry out critical repair works, including 79 minor repairs to facilitate upcoming CSEC and CAPE examinations, along with 16 emergency repairs at both primary and secondary schools. It also confirmed the full resumption of operations by the National Schools Dietary Services Limited, with more than 62,000 breakfasts and 75,000 lunches distributed to students on the first day, supported by 67 operational kitchens nationwide. As students transition from the secondary entrance assessment to secondary school, the ministry says it continues to roll out the STEPS program aimed at helping students adjust by providing the necessary skills, support and guidance for the new academic environment. Education Minister Michael Dowlath has commended the smooth reopening, noting that collaboration among stakeholders has helped ensure a safe and supportive learning environment. The ministry also assured that student support services, school supervision and district monitoring systems remain fully active as reports continue to maintain a productive and successful school term.
From the freshness of the ocean, Rainbow has sealed in all the natural, healthy goodness in their canned tuna, sardines and mackerel. So go ahead, enjoy some crispy sardines, stewed mackerel, or a creamy tuna salad. Because while your tummy enjoys the great taste, your heart and immunity will love the healthy omega-3s, calcium, protein and more. Rainbow's canned tuna, sardines and mackerel are 100% real fish. So it's tasty, healthy eating for your body, heart and mind. Rainbow canned fish.
Tile Expressions Limited, as one of the largest importers of tiles, offers an extensive range of high-quality tiles in ceramic, porcelain, granite, stone, and mosaic options. Additionally, we offer a variety of tile accessories and bathroom sets to complement any decor style. We are committed to providing exceptional customer service and swift delivery of all products. From indoor and outdoor tiles to bathroom sets and tile accessories, we have curated a range that caters to both traditional and modern taste. Lampus 13, Ajudha Road, Munro Road, Canopio. Call 223-8453.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the top stories that made the news headlines on Tuesday, April 14th. Minister of Culture and Community Development Michelle Benjamin says the 2026 Flavor Village initiative engaged more than 500 performers during the carnival season. Speaking in the Senate, she noted that the program provided paid opportunities across the cultural sector, describing it as a significant investment in the creative economy. The minister outlined payment ranges for various categories of performers and confirmed that approximately 90% of artists have already been paid. She added that all outstanding payments are expected to be completed by May 31st as the government moves to honor every contract.
The Flavor Village initiative is a flagship cultural activation that serves as a hub for the display and celebration of our art forms. It operated from the 8th of January 2026 to the 1st of March 2026, spanning the full breadth of the carnival season. Mr. President, during the period of operation, approximately in excess of 500 performers were engaged across a wide cross-section of our cultural landscape. These included a host of artists, the details of which Mr. President is going to be circulated or placed on record here today in an appendix. Mr. President, I wish to underscore that this initiative provided meaningful paid employment to approximately over 500 cultural practitioners across the length of the carnival season. That is the statement of this government's commitment to the creative economy and to the livelihoods of those that keep our traditions alive.
Senior citizens in Tobago are the first to receive devices under the eCare initiative launched by the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. Minister of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence Dominic Smith visited the island for the distribution, announcing that the program will be rolled out nationally. The initiative is aimed at improving access to digital services and enhancing connectivity for senior citizens across Trinidad and Tobago. The initiative was held in conjunction with the Tobago Information Technology Limited. Minister Smith said in the first instance, 100 devices will be distributed to senior citizens across the island. Also at the event, the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago and TITL signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at supporting senior citizens in learning how to use the devices. Secretary of Education, Skills and Innovation Orlando Kerr noted that the devices are about more than staying connected to loved ones.
Often people in the past would have considered Tobago an afterthought. You are not an afterthought. You are our brothers and sisters. in the fight of transforming Trinidad and Tobago, making it digitally ready. The mandate is to give it out to as many persons as possible. I think that has a mandate as well, and they would have in terms of the intricacies of the how and the when and the eventual rollout, which will be provided to the public.
A senior accessing health information without assistance. An individual navigating government's online services independently.
Education Minister Michael Dowlath says 1,050 students were suspended between September and December 2025, with no expulsions recorded during that period. He emphasized a zero-tolerance approach to school violence while ensuring that students receive the necessary support through counseling, behavioral programs, and structured reintegration. Minister Dowlath noted that strengthened policies along with the Police in Schools initiative have contributed to a reduction in incidents. He added that the ministry remains committed to a firm but balanced approach aimed at maintaining safe learning environments while helping students improve and stay on track.
The answer to part 1. For the period September to December 2025, there were 1,050 reported cases of student suspension across the education system. I also wish to indicate that no student was expelled during this period. The Ministry does not treat suspension as arbitrary punishment. Suspension is used where behavior threatens the safety, order, and proper functioning of the school environment, but it is governed by clear procedures, due process, and proportionality. The framework is provided by the National School Code of Conduct, which is available on the Ministry's website. The answer to part 2. Mr. President, this government's position is clear. Violence in schools will not be normalized, excused, or ignored.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose, and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg, and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canoopia. Shiklisho Limited. Quality you can trust.
The following is a paid advertisement.
When UNC wins, everybody wins.
The United National Congress presents Congress and Report to the Nation on Saturday, 25th April 2026 at Couva South Hall Car Park, Couva Main Road. Join the UNC family as we celebrate 37 years of the United National Congress. Registration of delegates from 1 p.m. The feature address will be presented by the Honorable Kamala Prasad Visesa, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and a host of powerful speakers. This program will be carried live on IETV.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins.
Are you renewing your motor, homeowner, or business insurances shortly? Then call Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, for a competitive quote. With 2 locations, Todd Street, El Socorro, and 5 Rivers, Aruca. Please call us at 221-5051 or 227-5051. Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, building relationships exceeding expectations.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the top stories that made the news headlines on Wednesday, April 15th. The University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, and the American Chamber of Commerce of Trinidad and Tobago have signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at advancing artificial intelligence development in Trinidad and Tobago. Here's more.
The agreement signed on Tuesday at the St. Augustine campus focused on building AI skills and preparing the country for an increasingly digital future. Campus Principal Rosemary Bell-Antoine said the initiative is designed to shift Trinidad and Tobago from being consumers of AI technology to becoming creators of locally developed solutions tailored to national needs. Anjam TNT CEO Narad Tawari noted that the partnership is also expected to create new employment opportunities and strengthen collaboration between academia and the business sector. He added that leveraging local talent in artificial intelligence could enhance both public and private sector performance while delivering meaningful social and economic impact. The partnership is expected to strengthen the link between research and real-world application as efforts continue to upskill the national workforce and position Trinidad and Tobago as a competitive player in the digital economy.
At the AIIC, we have that mission of taking our region from being mainly consumers of technology to actively creating indigenous and responsible AI solutions that have been very carefully and deliberately designed and tailored for our own economic and social and development priorities.
In addition to participating in the Digital Transformation Committee, our conferences and events showcasing both what you're doing here and exposing students and researchers to the wider business community and the conversations that we are having as businesses, and hopefully therefore influencing the design thinking along the way. When we look around for who are the Caribbean people out there in the tech world, many graduates of the Faculty of Engineering already are at the big companies that we talk about in senior positions, and in positions where if we can create the space for or the attraction for them, we can leverage the collective brain power that UWI has already produced and that Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean has to be able to do many, many different things.
The Senate has voiced support for the partial scope trade agreement bill between Trinidad and Tobago and Chile, legislation aimed at boosting economic growth and expanding local exports. The agreement is expected to provide local manufacturers and exporters with preferential duty-free access to the Chilean market, one of Latin America's most dynamic economies. Speaking during debate, Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Sean Sobers described Chile as a key trading partner, noting that exports from Trinidad and Tobago averaged more than $710 million annually between 2020 and 2024, driven largely by the energy sector. He said the government will allow more local goods to enter Chile without customs duties, supporting government efforts to expand both energy and non-energy exports.
The average total exports from TNT to Chile over the period 2020 to 2024 are estimated at approximately Trinidad and Tobago $710.6 million per annum. This includes energy exports, which average approximately $706.3 million annually, and non-energy exports, which average approximately $4.4 million annually. The agreement provides for preferential market access for more of Trinidad and Tobago's exports. More local goods will be allowed into Chile without incurring custom duties, that is zero duties, and assist in Trinidad and Tobago's efforts to increase both energy and non-energy exports as part of the government's continued trade expansion and economic diversification efforts.
Education Minister Michael Dowlath says the government has moved to review and strengthen the National School Code of Conduct. He explained that the initiative is aimed at better addressing incidents of indiscipline within schools while reducing reliance on student suspensions. The minister noted that the revised approach will focus on more structured and supportive measures to guide students' behavior and improve overall discipline across the education system.
In more serious cases, the ministry also applies case management, monitoring, and referral mechanisms, including referral to specialized services and relevant external agencies where required. So, Mr. President, the approach is not simply to remove a student from school and leave the matter there. The objective is to correct behavior, protect the wider school population, and reduce repeat incidents.
In our lives, there are moments that need to be remembered. Are you hosting a Ramayan Yagya, religious or cultural event or celebration? Would you like to have it aired live on IETV or recorded for playback later? We will air your program on IETV and IE Radio, with your viewers joining locally and internationally. Your family and friends worldwide can view on www.ietvtt.com or listen on ieradiott.com. To make arrangements, call or WhatsApp IETV at 784-9880. Let us record your cherished moments and share it.
Let's do India and Nepal, a soulful journey across timeless destinations. Delhi, Kathmandu, Varanasi, Ayodhya, Haridwar, Rishikesh, Agra, and Jaipur. August 12th to 28th. Presented by Pandit Omarat. Call 681-3476 to book now. Not just a trip, it's a spiritual and cultural experience.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the top stories that made the news headlines on Thursday, April 16th. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar is accusing CARICOM of what she describes as a corrupt backroom operation, warning that it is undermining the regional body and harming Caribbean citizens. Here's more.
In a strongly worded statement, the Prime Minister criticized remarks from CARICOM Chairman Terence Drew, which sought to dismiss concerns raised by Trinidad and Tobago over the reappointment of Secretary General Carla Barnett. She argued that key issues remain unresolved, including a WhatsApp message allegedly sent to CARICOM foreign ministers on the morning of a February retreat, an issue she says has not been addressed despite what she described as supporting evidence from Foreign Affairs Minister Sean Sobers. The Prime Minister also alleged dysfunction and dishonesty within the CARICOM Secretariat, claiming its leadership favors political allies over qualified professionals. Despite the criticism, she reaffirmed that Trinidad and Tobago will remain part of CARICOM, citing decades of national investment in the regional body. However, she warned that the matter will continue to be publicly pursued until accountability and reforms are achieved, insisting that the country's economic, security and development interests must be protected. The Prime Minister is also maintaining her call for documentation related to the reappointment process, including official minutes and performance records, as scrutiny of the issue continues.
A new documentary examining the fallout from ArcelorMittal's 2016 closure in Point Lisas has reignited calls for stronger labor protections in Trinidad and Tobago.
Speaking at the launch of the film Echoes from the Furnace, the Men and Women ArcelorMittal Left Behind, Minister of Labour, Small and Micro Enterprise Development Leroy Batiste said the documentary provides an opportunity to reflect on workers' welfare, their rights, and the responsibility of companies to the people they employ. He noted that the film highlights the retrenchment of approximately 700 workers following the company's closure, an event that had a significant impact on both families and the wider economy. Minister Batiste pointed out that between 2010 and 2015, the steel industry accounted for a major share of manufacturing and non-energy exports, underscoring its importance to economic diversification. He added that the plant's shutdown led to a sharp decline in non-energy exports in the years that followed. The minister said the situation has reinforced the need for legislation reform, stressing that job loss and displacement must be addressed through deliberate and forward-thinking policies. He revealed that government is currently reviewing and updating labour laws to ensure they are modern, relevant and responsive to today's workforce, with the aim of balancing the needs of employers while safeguarding workers' rights and livelihoods. Minister Batiste added that strengthening labour protections remains a priority as efforts continue to prevent a repeat of similar circumstances in the future.
This documentary stands as a testament to the courage of those who endured displacement, to the continuing advocacy of the Steel Workers Union of Trinidad and Tobago, and to the importance of preserving these narratives so that we can ensure that this simply cannot happen again. Job loss, displacement, and uncertainty cannot be treated as inevitable byproducts of progress. Instead, they must be addressed through deliberate, compassionate, and forward-thinking policies. Between 2010 and 2015, the iron steel industry accounted for an average of 84.2% of manufacturing exports and 32.7% of non-energy exports, highlighting its importance to economic diversification efforts.
Let's now take a look at some international news.
Tonight, the tense standoff on the high seas. An American-guided missile destroyer stopping an Iranian-flagged cargo ship that tried to evade the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports. It's one of 10 Iran-linked ships the U.S. has forced to turn around. Central Command saying no ships have broken through the blockade. And tonight, we're hearing the dramatic new warnings the U.S. Navy is issuing to ships in the region.
If you do not comply with this blockade, we will use force. The whole of the United States Navy is ready to force compliance. Now,
the U.S. looking to put maximum pressure on Iran, with thousands more U.S. forces set to arrive in the region soon. Iran calling the blockade a violation of the ceasefire, warning it'll stop any exports and imports in the Persian Gulf, the Sea of Oman and the Red Sea. It comes as President Trump hints at a second round of peace talks in the coming days.
I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over.
But he's made those predictions before, now 7 weeks into this war, and just days after suggesting high gas prices could last through the midterm elections in November. Tonight, the president's saying prices will be lower by the midterms.
Gasoline's coming down very soon, and very big.
So you think gas prices will be lower before the midterm elections?
I think they'll be much lower before midterm, much lower, yes.
Okay. Now, you've suggested...
I mean, that's on the assumption that we stop a country that cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Tonight, powerful storms are threatening millions from North Texas to the southern Great Lakes. Night 3 of a multi-day severe weather outbreak is underway. East of Cedar Rapids in Onslow, Iowa, Lenny Miller caught this massive textbook rope tornado tearing across the landscape as the storms fired up Tuesday night. The system dumping massive hail.
Appears to be a tornado. Touchdown.
This industrial park in the Milwaukee suburb of Sussex taking a direct hit from an EF2 tornado with 120-mile-an-hour winds, destroying Ashley Shelton's garage door business. About an hour and a half northwest of Madison, a tornado tore through Union Center, Wisconsin, sending trees onto homes, cars, and power lines. In Ann Arbor, Michigan, strong winds knocking down the wall at this ice rink. Northeast of Grand Rapids, Michigan,
we're trying to round up this mess.
First responders wrangling hundreds of cows that got loose after a confirmed tornado destroyed multiple barns at Janet Hull's family farm in Fenwick.
Well, this is where we leave you for now. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Micah Dumais. Thank you for joining us.